After I gave birth to my son, my was huge.
Always you bad bill, angry, jealous bitches.
And the reason why my was so huge because I almost gained 20, and you already know my.
What it is, it's never the bad bitches and it's never the trans bitches. The cunt trans.
So my was already huge as like putting that baby weight on my body plus them
with it. The cunt trans always with it. The bad with it.
When news broke that NFL star Stefon Diggs had allegedly called it quits with Cardi B without warning, fans and media were blindsided. But it wasn't just the sudden split that made headlines. It was the bizarre and deeply personal rumor fueling it. Word spread that Diggs had been put off by an alleged odor linked to Cardi's infamous Brazilian butt lift, a cosmetic procedure that's become synonymous with celebrity beauty standards. The idea that something as shocking as a stench could derail a high-profile romance quickly sent the internet into overdrive, spawning memes, debates, and widespread speculation. Yet, this story is far more layered than it appears. Because this isn't just another messy celebrity fallout. It's the culmination of a much longer and more painful journey that Cardi B herself has publicly chronicled. From her roots in the Bronx to her days working as a stripper, and ultimately becoming one of music's most polarizing figures, her path has been anything but smooth. Central to that journey has been her deeply personal struggle with body image. For years, Cardi has been candid about the extreme lengths she went to in order to craft a marketable figure. Procedures that were often dangerous, done in unofficial clinics, and driven by industry pressure to fit an idealized mold. Now those long-buried choices are resurfacing, not in celebration of her success, but under the harsh glare of scandal and scrutiny. This isn't a victory lap. It's a reckoning. And it raises uncomfortable questions about what women, especially in the spotlight, sacrifice for acceptance and attention. The demand for flawlessness comes at a price, and when that image cracks, the fallout can be brutal. So before writing this off as just another gossip-fueled spectacle, look closer. Because the truth behind Cardi's transformation, her need for approval, and the toll it's taken may shift the entire conversation around beauty, fame, and the cost of both. Cardi B's much-hyped Coachella appearance was supposed to be a landmark performance. An electrifying moment that would secure her legacy as one of music's reigning queens. She arrived on stage with all the bravado fans expect, commanding presence, back-to-back hits, elaborate choreography, and flashy outfits. But despite the spectacle and star power, the headlines weren't dominated by her setlist or stage presence. Instead, it was close-up photos of her figure that quickly hijacked the conversation. Within hours, fans had zoomed in, dissected, and circulated images across social media, pointing fingers at what they claimed were signs of a botched BBL. The criticism came fast and brutal. Comments about sagging curves, disproportionate shaping, and an allegedly collapsing silhouette flooded timelines. Suddenly, the focus shifted from her music to her body, and not in a celebratory way. Trying to shut down the rumors, Cardi swiftly addressed the uproar. She insisted the viral photos were misleading, blaming awkward lighting and possible Photoshop tampering. But instead of quelling the backlash, her response only intensified it. Detractors fired back with a biting retort, "Getty doesn't edit." That reminder struck hard, suggesting that these weren't doctored paparazzi shots but raw, unretouched images from a trusted source. Doubling down on damage control, Cardi posted a glamorous, seemingly flawless selfie on Instagram, hoping to flip the narrative. But critics weren't buying it. Many dismissed the image as filtered and heavily airbrushed, fuel for those who believed she was hiding the truth. As the online drama escalated, whispers about her past surgeries grew louder. Speculation swirled. Had her implants shifted? Was her skin deteriorating from past procedures? Was the very figure she built her brand on now betraying her in public? Then came the moment that took the controversy from internet chatter to deeply personal scandal. Just when it looked like the frenzy might calm, a shocking claim surfaced that pushed the narrative into new territory. Reports began circulating that Cardi's own boyfriend had privately admitted to friends that her appearance had become an issue. One that went far beyond filtered photos or critical tweets. Allegedly, during an intimate encounter, he gagged, physically recoiled, not from online pressure, but from something he saw or experienced directly. Suddenly, the story wasn't just about a celebrity's altered figure or another social media dragging. It was about a dissonance between the public image and private reality. A moment of raw discomfort that underscored a deeper, more uncomfortable truth. This revelation reframed everything. It wasn't just a tabloid moment or a debate over plastic surgery. It was a vivid illustration of how fame, body modification, and performance culture can push even the most confident artists to painful extremes. The idea that Cardi, a powerhouse of confidence and unapologetic self-expression, might be privately suffering under the very beauty standards she once championed struck a nerve with fans and critics alike. It turned a viral backlash into something more sobering. A reminder that beneath the glamour and the filters, there's a real person navigating the impossible expectations of celebrity perfection. Just days after Cardi B's buzzworthy Coachella performance, the spotlight shifted from her stage show to a sudden and mysterious breakup that sent shockwaves through the entertainment world. NFL star Stefon Diggs, who had recently been romantically linked to the rap superstar, abruptly disappeared from the picture. No official announcement, no cryptic social posts, just total silence. Confused fans were left speculating until a flood of rumors hit social media. According to alleged insiders, Diggs didn't just pull away, he ran straight back to his ex. The abrupt switch raised eyebrows, but it was the supposed reason that truly stunned people. Several anonymous sources claimed that after a private encounter with Cardi, Diggs was so put off by an overwhelming odor, allegedly coming from her surgically enhanced backside, that he couldn't continue the relationship. At first, the story sounded too outrageous to be real. But then, Diggs' ex began posting intimate, affectionate photos with him, subtly confirming they were back together. One caption stood out and ignited even more controversy: "We've been raw-dogging reality." The message was interpreted as a double-edged jab, mocking the artificial nature of his past relationship and highlighting the authenticity of their renewed bond. Fans ran wild with it, and the comments section turned into a war zone. One particularly viral response summed up the internet's harsh take: "Was Cardi's booty a biohazard?" It was brutal and speculative, but it reflected the kind of no-holds-barred commentary that spreads like wildfire online. Beyond the internet drama, there's a medical reality behind the rumors that many overlook. Brazilian butt lifts, especially when done repeatedly or under rushed conditions, carry serious health risks. Infections are a well-documented complication, and when they occur, they can come with strong, unpleasant odors. Plastic surgeons have long warned about the dangers of BBLs, calling out their alarmingly high mortality rate and potential for complications like fluid leakage, tissue necrosis, and internal infections. So while the stench narrative sounds like a tabloid punchline, it's not entirely baseless. It's tied to real medical risks, particularly for someone with a known history of back-to-back procedures like Cardi B. In a raw and revealing GQ interview, she didn't sugarcoat what happened next. The silicone began leaking from her body for days, leaving her confined to bed, dizzy, and genuinely afraid for her life. Without anesthesia, without medical oversight, her body went into shock. Her immune system attacked the foreign substance, treating it like a threat. The pain was relentless, the swelling unmanageable, and the fear unshakable. Cardi had escaped the worst-case scenario, but the trauma didn't fade with time. If anything, it fueled her deeper into a cycle of chasing the image she thought she needed to survive in the industry she was breaking into. Years later, that cycle re-emerged, this time under the bright lights of fame. After giving birth to her second child, despite being warned by doctors to give her body time to heal, Cardi once again turned to surgery. This time she had access to the best, high-end clinics, certified professionals, and post-op care. But the risks didn't disappear. She suffered from intense swelling, fluid retention, and a grueling recovery. Her body, already pushed to the limit by years of enhancement, responded harshly. The experience was so brutal, Cardi went public with a vow: "I ain't getting surgery again." It felt like a turning point, a final declaration that she was ready to stop chasing perfection and start accepting herself. But in the relentless world of celebrity culture, where every outfit, every performance, every selfie is subject to scrutiny, it's never that simple. The pressure to stay flawless, to remain marketable, never truly disappears. Cardi's body, once the canvas of her own choosing, had become public property. Judged by fans, torn apart by tabloids, and commodified by brands. The temptation to fix perceived flaws never went away. And despite her promise to stop, the battle between authenticity and expectation still lingered. Cardi's story isn't just about cosmetic surgery. It's about the psychological toll of fame, and how, in an industry built on appearances, the journey to self-love can be the hardest procedure of all. By 2023, the body that once catapulted Cardi B into icon status had become the center of intense scrutiny and growing concern. Her waist appeared almost unnaturally cinched, while her exaggerated backside seemed increasingly disproportionate, drawing comparisons to CGI characters rather than real people. The internet noticed. Fans, gossip blogs, and even plastic surgery specialists began dissecting every new photo, lining them up against older images and pointing out stark changes. Many speculated she'd undergone yet another round of secret cosmetic work, despite publicly claiming she was finished with surgeries. The speculation grew so loud that Cardi felt compelled to respond directly, hopping on Instagram Live to clear the air. She denied having any recent procedures, but then threw fans a curveball by casually stating, "My butt's fluffy now." It was a comment that blended deflection with honesty, leaving the public more puzzled than satisfied. This moment marked a dramatic shift from the Cardi who had once boldly owned her body journey. Early in her fame, she was known for breaking the mold. openly discussing her plastic surgeries when other stars clung to the illusion of natural beauty. Her candor about undergoing illegal silicone shots, the aftermath, and later having those fillers removed had earned her a level of authenticity that fans respected. But lately, that openness had started to waver. With cryptic responses and rapidly shifting visuals, many felt Cardi was veering into murky territory, where transparency was replaced by evasion and honesty blurred into denial. To some longtime supporters, this wasn't just frustrating, it was heartbreaking. Cardi, once praised as a fearless truth-teller willing to call out unrealistic beauty standards, now seemed like a cautionary tale. Her constantly evolving appearance, visible even through performance outfits and heavily curated selfies, had become a visual symbol of what can happen when body image pressure goes unchecked. She did attempt to offer a warning, telling fans bluntly, "Don't do silicone shots." But to critics, that advice fell flat. After her alleged split from Stefon Diggs, online backlash intensified. Harsh comments spread like wildfire. She warned others but didn't listen to herself, and you're not just living with the consequences, you're showcasing them. At this stage, Cardi B's story has grown into something much bigger than cosmetic procedures. It's a complex narrative about public perception, personal regret, and the relentless expectations placed on women in the spotlight. The deeper irony? In her pursuit of perfection, she's become a living example of how chasing an unattainable image can come with a devastating price. Let's be honest, Stefon Diggs isn't exactly the picture of innocence. His ex, Young Miami, publicly called him out for cheating, once saying, "I can't fall for a rich, single player." So why are people so quick to buy the narrative that he dumped Cardi B over a so-called stench? Industry insiders suggest this may have been nothing more than a convenient excuse, a way for Diggs to make a messy exit while deflecting blame. And let's not forget, Cardi has dealt with haters her entire career. Still, there's one question no one can seem to shake. If the odor rumor is totally false, why hasn't Cardi taken legal action? Her silence on the matter is starting to speak volumes. The truth is, Cardi's story isn't an isolated scandal. It's a reflection of a much bigger issue in Hollywood. Celebrities routinely deny having any work done, even as they flaunt bodies that defy biology and inspire fans to chase similar results, often through dangerous means. What makes Cardi different is that she actually told the truth. She was open about her choices, her regrets, and the risks. And yet, instead of being praised for that honesty, she's been ridiculed and torn apart. Her experience raises uncomfortable questions. When does the pursuit of self-love become a path to self-harm? And why do we celebrate curves, but mock the surgeries that create them? So let's circle back. Was Cardi's BBL really the reason Stefon Diggs bailed, or did he just pull the ultimate scapegoat move? Drop your opinion in the comments below. And if you think this story is outrageous, just wait. We're about to expose the A-list celeb who quietly reversed all their cosmetic procedures. Tap next to find out the truth the industry doesn't want you to know.